Welcome back to day 2. Yesterday, we talked about looking at the business in a new frame of work as a business is your story. So then we could let go of all the resistance of rules and logistics and really tune into the energy of creating a building a business around you. So the options are, and the main option that we grow up with and what we see in the corporate world and so on is opening a business, taking care of all the logistics, and then we put ourselves into it. Now, in this space where we work with people, with personal growth, with as I say, with hearts and souls, my invitation is to approach it from opposite angle. I am me. I am the product. I am the one that create the space and offer the service and the support, and I'm building the business from inside out. So I start with me and I build the business around me. Now, that being said, we want to go into the content on today training and really looking into what is the niche. And I keep saying that I just don't want to have another conversation about the niche, but we're still going to have it. And why do we do that? Again, for the same reason, because we were taught that we have to define like what is the niche and what is the message and so on. And I want to invite you for this time that we spent together in this training is to forget about the niche and just think about your message. Now, if you did the yesterday training and went through your story and pick up the moments, it would be very helpful to go through the content of today training. And we want to look at the message. What is your message? If you're here live, you could put it in the chat. If you're watching a replay, you could leave comments. But either way, at least write it on a piece of paper for yourself so you could see it and you could acknowledge it. Are you clear on your niche? Do you know exactly what is the space that you are working in? And it's just yes or no, or maybe, or I still need some clarification, whatever the answer is just for you to acknowledge where you're at. Because you could only start or take a new action step. You could take a new step from where you at. You can't move from where you're not, right? So this is where I'm at. There is no judgment. It's just acknowledging this is where I'm at. Okay, so we have a no. So no, not clear on a niche. It's okay. So hopefully by the end of this training, you will have more clarity around how to define it, how to identify it, what is it that actually aligns with you, with your soul, with your desire, with your purpose, with the direction that you are going. So again, the way that I want to reframe the niche is like really focusing on the message, like what is your message? And going back on your timeline, as we talked yesterday into your story, to actually collect those moments where the challenging moments. And, you know, the beauty of having English, my second language, I teach this into a previous training, but I want to say it again, is that I'm looking at the words, I translate them literally in my mind, and then I break them to find a new meaning for it. And the way that I look at the message is I just break it in the middle. And it's a mess plus age. I don't know if this will speak to you as speaks to me, but the message, actually, you can't have a message without the mess. Like, what were the messy points in your life? The challenges, the hard times. The challenges and hard times that you actually overcome, as we talked yesterday, those impossible moments, that you actually make them possible because you are here today. So those are the messy points. We want to go back on a timeline and collect all the moments, like what age was that mess? What age, when I say age, is literally when in your life that mess happened, and that mess happened, right? And when you make the list of all of this, first thing that I want to prepare you for is just acknowledging and looking back. It's a lot of healing in it. It's really a lot of healing. You could experience all kind of emotions rushing in, all kind of triggers, and it's okay. It's safe to do so, because you know that you already went through it. You are here. You were stronger than you thought that you could be. You make that impossible, messy moment possible. And it's okay to look back and see what else is there, what other emotions, what is it that needed to be healed and released. Or if there is no triggers, it's just an evidence that you fully overcome that challenge. And probably, only probably, that will be exactly the thing that could become your niche. Why? Because overcome a challenge, it's what makes you the expert on that particular thing, because you've done it. When we do something and when we went through hard times and we find ways, methods how to overcome that challenge, of course we are the one person qualified to take somebody else through the same challenge, right? So it's very important to collect all this messy moments and you could actually group them into two groups. The ones they are like fully overcome, totally healed, right? And the ones there is still more to heal, to forgive, to love. And you know what I'm talking about. We all have those moments. Because the reality is, as we talked yesterday, we are never done. We are always evolving. We are always learning. We are always growing. And we sign up for that, especially in this space, as mentors, as coaches, as healers. We sign up for continuous growth and evolution. Now, here's the hard part, or the stretchy part of fighting those messy moments, is like, that is your message. And the main reason or people are not speaking their message, sharing the through story, the mess of their life, of the experiences, the messy experiences, is because we don't want to be seen. And it's very, very powerful invitation to look in what doesn't let me share this part of my experience. And I don't know about you, but for me and many people that I work with, it's usually shame. It's a lot of shame attached to it. And the shame pretty much is coming from how we've been raised and grow up with a lot of judgment of others and self-judgment. So what I could share with you from my experience and other people that I support over the years is that the messiest part of our story that we don't want to share are exactly the parts that our clients or followers or people that we serve actually needed to hear. I really feel that. I admit I'm not there 100%. I'm working on my memoir, and I have a coach specifically to support me to writing my book, because it's raw, it's sharing my experience, and I'm literally physically cannot move when I got into something that is very, very personal, very vulnerable. But it's a beautiful process, because when I want to write about that moment and I'm so triggered, that's exactly what I need my coach to, like, okay, something is coming up. I'm still embarrassed about it. I still experiencing shame about it. I'm still having this, limited belief about it. Help me heal it, release it. Because in the end is when I complete that book, I will just release it for the whole world to know. And that thought of, like, everybody that will pick up that book will know all my story, it's absolutely terrifying. And in the same time, people that would buy the book, they actually bought it to read those moments that I'm not ready to share it today. So that is my raw message. That is my niche. That is the moments that messy moments are the moments where so many other peoples are in it today, and they need you to be there with them to walk them through it. It's as simple as that. So that's where we are landing. We are landing into identify the niche. And I know there is so many formulas and theories and how to figure out and what's the message and what's the hot hook and whatnot. And I just want to share with you what I experience and what I seeing happening with my clients, and see if that applies for you, or just make a note about it. And if you land in that space, so you have something to compare with, to refer to. When we started, actually, and we are not necessarily clear on what the niche is, this will be a great exercise to really go into collecting those messy moments of your life, of your experience. And then you could go a layer deeper and actually identify what is it that you did, who was it there, what do you need to hear, what kind of support could be useful for you in that moment, right? And that would help you to create a framework of structure, of program, of service, of product to offer to the people that need support through exactly same challenges. And at the beginning, I know when I started in this career, what I've been told by my mentors in general was just go deep, make it small, make it as small as possible, go deep as possible. And I couldn't, and was very frustrated, because when I've been told to go deep with my niche, that in my identity translated as I'm the expert on that thing. And I did not feel as an expert in anything, really. So it was a disconnect. What I experienced instead was going as wide as possible. Like that's how it happened to me. It doesn't happen to you. It could be different, but I just want to again invite you in to be okay with figure out your own rules and what is it that's working for you. So starting with going deeper into a niche for me did not work, because that made me feel like a fraud. Like, who am I to talk about this topic? I'm not an expert on this topic. So in time, I start working with parents, and mainly with single parents, because I really identify with that. So I actually look from who am I being, instead of like, what is it that I could do? I basically, I went a little bit wider. So I expand, and then my niche expand. I evolve, and then my niche evolve. It's exactly what with the rules that we talked yesterday. Just identify what is it that is working for you, and allowed that to evolve with you. Everything is flexible. We cannot work at personal growth space. We cannot work with hearts and souls and be rigid about it. It just doesn't make any sense. So we need to allow everything to be flexible, right? This is where you start. It's just the starting point. That's it. It's nothing else. It's nothing else. It's not permanent. It's not forever. It's just a starting point. As you expand, your niche could expand and you get to go wider and wider. Now, in my opinion, and also watching my clients for the past 3 years, when you go wide enough and you work with a lot of people, then and only then you get to go deeper, because you have enough data and you have enough experience. Like expertise, you can't be an expert without experience, right? You have enough experience to actually analyze all the data that you collected. Like, okay, I'm feeling really good talking about this. I really like working with this type of people. I don't like that. I am absolutely excited about this. This particular topic really inspire me. I'm inspired about clients. They are like this, and that. And then you get to redefine it, right? Because when we go wide, and I know that I've been wide, I'm still in a wide space, to be honest. I'm kind of closing very slowly. There is no rush. I dropped the rules long time ago. I'm not worried about what people say about me and my business. It's all about how I feel about my business. And how I feel is like I'm not as wide as I was, let's say, a year ago, but I'm still in a wide space. I'm still exploring. I'm working with parents. I'm working with LGBTQ community. I'm working with same-sex couples. I'm working with transgender. I'm working with entrepreneurs. I'm working with preteens and teens. I'm working with so many spaces, in so many spaces. And I think the key for me, and hopefully this is helpful for you as well, is to like really make a note about how I feel in every space, how I feel in every conversation. And I know that we are in space and helping and serving, but remember, most of us starting from being people pleaser, and we did so much work to set new boundaries and to speak up for ourselves and to stand up for ourselves, and just be aware of that. When you look at all the data and experience and you actually decide what you like and what you don't like, be aware to not fall into people pleaser. There is nothing wrong with you if you say it out loud, I don't like to work with this type of people. You should not. If you don't enjoy it, if it doesn't inspire you, if you don't have a experience, you could eliminate. And sometimes, and probably it's even easier in general, to eliminate what we don't like in order to have the result of like, oh, this is what's left, this is what I actually like and enjoy, and I'm inspired, and I cannot wait, and I can't wait to be morning, when I go to bed, like, oh my God, I can't wait for tomorrow morning to meet with these people. Just being in this space of identifying what's my niche, what is the space that I'm working in, what is my message. Think about, you could make a list of topics, or yeah, let's say topics that you could help somebody with today. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be an expert. I'm not saying that you have to have a PhD in that topic. I'm saying that if somebody knocks on your door today, let's say you pick up a topic. I was giving an example, like how I started, like single parents, because I was a single parent when I moved to United States. It was just me and my son, and we didn't speak English. And not only that we didn't speak English, but also I didn't have anybody on a whole continent. So it was no friends, no family, no support. Um, and you could see how everybody that know me judge me that I'm crazy. It really looks like a very crazy decision, right? Um, so for me, when I started coaching, is like I know how to help a single parent to build a great relationship with their children, regardless the circumstances, regardless the circumstances. That I know how to do. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna do it, but that I know how to do. So that was my starting niche. Because I look back and I collect all the evidence, like I have no help, I have no support, we end up into, abusive relationship, we end up being homeless, we have no ID, we couldn't access any support from the government, I barely speak English. Like a year later, after was about to find a house, nobody want to rent me anything, like I didn't have a job, I didn't have authorization to work. I could give you 100 reasons why I should not have made it. And whatever happened and whatever the circumstances was, one thing was always on high vibration: my relationship with my son. My relationship with my son. Like that was like, okay, I need to communicate, let him know what's going on, what we are talking about, how I support him to school, how I keep academics a priority, regardless if I didn't eat for 3 days or whatever the circumstances was. And the whole structure of my business when I started was, um, don't let your circumstances crush your dreams. That was pretty much my message. Don't let your circumstances become the excuses why you don't move forward. Don't let your circumstances be in charge of your life. They're just circumstances. And we have the power to get out of it. So think about like what are the moments, and then just ask yourself, it's somebody knock on my door right now and says, hey, like in this example, hey, Simona, can I'm a single parent. And, I just went through a divorce and I'm just feeling very insecure about myself and I have no energy to watch over my kids. Can you help me with that? I'll be like, yeah, I can. Let's do it. So that's the niche that feels like a second nature. Like, how to do it naturally. You've been there. You out of that mess, right? And allow yourself to identify 3, 4, 5, 17. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could identify as many as you want, because remember, we want to go as wide as possible so you could gain the experience, so you could little by little feel more as an expert. Because I want to believe that 99% of the people when they start in this career is like, we don't feel that we are not the right people to support other people in that particular topic. And that's where people get paralyzed with the niche. Like, I don't know what to do. Well, you do know what to do. Just start from somewhere. Start from where you are today. That's it. And tomorrow could be something else, and that's okay. So I want to invite you to look at this like niche and message. Like, it's very organic. It's we eliminate the business, corporate, logistical a part of what is it that we are doing, and we are working with people, right? So my business is my story. I have a story. It's very personal. Therefore, my message is going to be my message because it's speaking to that mess and that mess and that mess that I went through. So do you see now how the rules don't apply? There is no rules. I mean, we could make it general, like we talk about the niche single parents, like could be, I don't know, millions of people could fit into that. But then you could go deeper and deeper and deeper, like immigrant, single parent, or a particular race, or whatever and whatever your situation is, right? but just to notice that it's so personal. And that's why we get to see how we actually build the business from inside out, which takes me to marketing, that we are all of us just want to run away from it, myself included. And marketing is nothing else than sharing your story, which I'm not saying that it's easy, because it requires to be vulnerable, requires to be visible. But the invitation is to do it anyway. And when you do it and you go through, range of emotions and you feel a trigger, is where you get to put yourself in spaces where you get the support that you needed to walk through it. Because triggers are nothing else than just an invitation um, to heal parts of ourselves that we kind of denied or we kind of hidden for a while, um, to heal them, to release them, so we could make space for growth. I mean, you could look back and just acknowledge how much trauma and unsolved issues are you carrying around right now in your body. I know I have few. I have released a lot for the past 3 years, um, but there is still some parts of me that I'm not ready to deal with yet. Or I just scratch the surface and I'm taking it very slow and very cautious because I'm just, don't want to go deeper. So just giving you the example of me writing my book, it's another way. When you say how do we grow, how do we solve this, like, well, for me, this is how I figure out, like writing a book. And when I find like super trigger, I'm like, oh shit, now I need to deal with this one, let me take it to my coach. And in the end, it's not about writing a book, it's about my inner work and healing and releasing. And writing a book is just the method that I'm doing that inner work. So I wanted to make a note about this, because even with coaching, or mentorship, we call ourselves coaches and healers and mentors and teachers or whatever. But what we are all doing is we are healing and releasing and growing. And then that title is not a title, it's a method that we are doing our inner work. I hope you could hear this. You call yourself a coach, for example, but what you are coaching is actually a method of working on your old issues, on healing and releasing. And it's exactly what we are doing, as a client, when we put ourselves in front of our coaches. And it's exactly what our clients do when they put themselves in our space. Or a healer or a mentor, or whatever your title is. I took the title out of my business cards. Like, my business cards has no title, like, since last year. Last year is when I actually, this concept hit me. Like, I'm not a coach. Coaching is just the method that I'm working on my personal growth. So I took the title out. And also, it frees up a lot of space and a lot of judgment, because when you give somebody your business card and they read your title, they're gonna put you into a box of what that title means to them, that chances are has nothing to do with who you really are or what is it that you do. Just think about that. And I know, myself included, for the beginning, like, I make such a big fuss about how to call myself and keep changing my titles. And until I got in that moment on my personal growth to say, oh my God, the title means nothing. In fact, it's just, it doesn't serve me at all. And now when I give somebody a business card and they just read my name and my email and my website, it's all I have on my business card. And it's like, oh, okay. And what do you do? Well, when they ask me, what do I do? Now I know what to say. And eliminate their judgment about a particular title, a particular name, right? Just think about that. Because the reason I'm sharing that is very connected with the niche and how we choose our niche, how we choose our niche, how we choose our title, how we choose our message. It's following those rules and those scripts. And when you're not aligned with them, you know it. You know it in your bones because it doesn't feel right. You can't say it, doesn't roll off your tongue. Um, so the invitation is just make it your own. And you just start from where you are now, where you are today in this point. That's it. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the message. Like, what is it that you say actually? How much we share and how do we share it? I know there is so many programs out there and formulas of how to create your content, your talk, your message, your hot hook, and so on. I will say this: tell the truth. Tell the truth. A year ago, it's just coming a Facebook memory, which I love those Facebook memories that just remind us where we were, how far we have come. I'm celebrating those Facebook memories all the time. So I give this talk where it was like 6 minutes talk, and I have to, share a little bit of my story that was absolutely terrifying. Like, oh my God, like it's going to be 1,000 people in a room, and like everybody will know what I went through, even though I just share like my story. I think the part of that 6 minutes, me sharing my story was probably less than 2 minutes, right? A lot could be said in 2 minutes. Think about that. We start the conversation on, this formula, like this is how you say it, that's what goes first, that's what go next, and was a whole script to help me to, create my talk. And when on a call, the first thing that I said is like, I can't do this. I will never speak like that. I don't speak like that. I don't use this language. I don't use this words. This is just, I can't do it. I feel like somebody else is somebody else's talk. And then I've been a coach and walked through and allowed to actually break everything and shift everything around that feels right to me. And having that space and that support where I was allowed to be me and find my own way, it was so liberating. Because that talk, I have it kind of write it down and I have to learn it. But I only look at that paper 2 days before I deliver on the stage, because I was in another talk before, and then I flew from where was I in Colorado to Dallas, and I was all messed up with the time zone. And then next day I'm like, okay, I need to learn my talk because tomorrow I have to deliver. No, the day after tomorrow. So I have 2 days to prepare for that. And was really good. And the reason, I did some mistakes, I did some mispronunciation, nobody fucking care. But the reason that was good and I was less nervous was because it felt like it was mine. I was not following some, pre-made scripts. So please go back to your messy points, and I will put in a replay or put a handout to help you with this. Just kind of structure the questions, the answers, and the key points. And even with that, I want to invite you to put them in an order that speak to you. There is no order. There is no order. The only right order for you is the one that feels right to you in everything. The only right order is the one that feels right for you. So pick up your messy points, write the message. What have I learned from there? What is the piece of wisdom that I got from there? And just speak your truth. That's your message, your truth, nothing else. Don't make it difficult and get caught up into formulas and scripts. And honestly, how many situations do you have that just because of the rules and scripts and formulas, actually you didn't move forward because it just feels like work, because it's not natural, right? So your message is your story. How you say it, it's exactly how you speak every day. You say it in a way that you call your friend and say, hey, this is what happened. That's how you say it. That's how you say it. The hot parts, the ouchy parts of the message are the parts that you don't want to share. So the work is, you have your story, you have your message, and there is this element and this thing about that story, about that experience that I don't want anybody to know. That's exactly what we need to share. So identify what is it that you don't want anybody to know. That's your niche. And the only way that you could make it public and visible and put it on your copy or on your website or whatever is to actually heal the pain around that. So get yourself a coach, put yourself into spaces with, groups and masterminds or whatever, Q&A, whatever you have access to, and ask support to release that pain so you could share the thing that you don't want anybody to know. That's the gold. That's what the gold is hidden. It takes courage to get it wrong. I know that most of you will identify with my experience. Like, I didn't want to speak in public. I didn't want to do webinars or masterclass because I was terrified of camera. I'm still not comfortable 100% in front of camera. But what I work through and really release in time is that I, I don't have to be right. I don't have to be right. I say things wrong, or I say I mispronounce, or I lose my track. That's why I may all learn to make bullet points to kind of keep me on track. So I let go of the perfection, because in the end of every call, doesn't matter if that video is 3 minutes or it's 2 hours. There is always a golden message for someone. So instead of getting all caught up in like, what's my niche, what's my message, it's just show up and speak your truth. Show up and share what you feel in your soul that you need to share that day, with no expectation and no attachment. Maybe is nobody there to listen. But what if there is just one person that actually you help them move forward with one step, and that one step could change their whole life? That's what we show up for. If I will do this webinar like 2 years ago and look in my MailChimp and see that 22 people sign up and we have 2 on a call yesterday, I'll be like freaking out. Not to mention that was so much drama with connection. I didn't have audio and so on. And I have no way of 7 more people sign up since yesterday. I have no way of knowing, I mean, I do have a way of knowing. I could see who's watching the replaying and who doesn't, but it's not my job to push people to actually go through the content. It's like, you want to do it or you don't want to do it. It's your choice. But from almost 30 people, if just one person took one step forward that could change their life in this 3 days, that's the reason I'm doing this. To give a space to people that for whatever reason cannot invest tons of dollars to be supported. And every now and then I'm doing this thing. What does have to do with my niche? I don't know. But what I know is, like, it has to do with what's in my soul. I want to support and help people. And that feels good to me. That feels good to me. Now, this is one thing in my business that I'm like, oh, I feel really good when I do this. It feels really good to know that I could help somebody. And chances are the people that I'm helping are people they're not engaging, they're people they're not showing off live, they're people they don't want to be seen, they're people like I used to be when I was hiding into a library in Virginia and with English Romanian tourist dictionary and tried to read my first self-help book to figure out what the hell am I doing next. So I don't care about the likes. I don't care about the comments. I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I don't expect and I don't judge like, oh, nobody show up or there is not enough comments. No, because the person that really needs this, they're in hiding. And this is a space that I could help them to come out of hiding little by little. So make your list. What are the things that you love to do? What are the things that inspire you to do? What are the people that you absolutely love to work with? What are the people that inspire you? What kind of problems you love to solve? And not to solve like, okay, this is the solution, but actually to listen to people, sharing, and let that be the space that we call it niche or hot hook or whatever, whatever they call it. And those little lists that you did and little sharing and little discoveries and what are the messy points, what did I went through, all of that are your marketing content. So you don't have to sweat your brains and what I'm gonna write next. You already have it. All the notes that you took for the past few years and all the content, all your ahas, those are your content. Those are your copy for your marketing. Those are your content for doing, I don't know, live videos in your groups. You already have the copy for, I'm going to pick this topic and that problem and that challenge and that step, and I'm putting them together. And now I have a product to offer. You already have it. Uh, so your niche, your message, your marketing, it's already on the paper. You've been a student of this work for way too long to sit here and tell me, oh, I don't know. You do. You already have it on your paper. Just open those notebooks and pull them up. That's that. So just to do a quick recap before we go, to remind you that you could only start from where you are, like right here and right now, and that it's valid for every day. This is where I'm at today. What's my next step? I have so much wisdom, acknowledge from everything that already happened. So I'm just going to use that as a fuel to help me take my next step, where I'm at. And we always could start from where we are. And give yourself the space and the time to explore and to gain experience. Talk with people. Talk with people, support, engage, create the spaces where you help them and support them and walk them through their own challenges, and then collect this data and look at it with very honest answer honest to questions like, what is it that I like? What are the parts that I enjoy? What do I like to, what are the people that inspire me and I like to support? And all that answers is actually, it's your business. Okay, so this is my niche, this is my hot hook, this is my people. So because you want to feel good about everything. So when you enjoy everything, will never feel like work, will never feel like a business in the sense that we learn it. So we just get to show up every day to support another human and embrace all the triggers. When we go back on a timeline and we pick up the challenges and we want to extract the message from that mess, really acknowledge what are the triggers, what are the emotions that are coming up. Those are the things that I need to work through so I could heal that, so I could grow. And take it to your coach, take it to your mentor, take it to your group, take it whatever space you have reserved for help and support. And then, of course, you know, be brave and get it wrong. It's not about saying it right and perfect. That doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's about saying it. Just say it. All right. And what do we say? We just speak the truth. And it's speaking your truth, not mine, not hers, not his, your truth. Your truth is your message, is your experience, it's your wisdom. And people that identify with that, those are the people that are gonna follow you. It's a very beautiful filter. It's the most important filter to feel good in our business and always be surrounded that people that we actually enjoy to work with. The filter is be yourself and speak your truth. Who doesn't resonate with that, who has a lot of judgment or whatever, they're not your people. So they will never work with you. So they will never be in your space. And it's exactly what we want. And then I offer you the way that I break the message in mess and age, like pick up the messy parts of your story in a different age and collect from there to kind of lined up, like what are the niches options for you, and go with the one that speak the most. It could be one that is very painful and you still need to work through it. And with that, I just want to add that when something is not settled and we choose to do that work with our client, it's actually, that's how I call it, like co-creation. It's actually your client is going to bring things that it's triggering you, and it's also helping you to release and heal that part. So you will see that with yourself. You either choose a niche of a messy part that it's fully solved, and then the connection, it's from a place of like, I got this and I'm over it, but you don't know what your client is going to be. Or you pick up a niche, a messy part of your story that it's still not solved 100%, and it's a different connection, and it's also co-healing, if that's a word. I don't know if it's a word. But it's like sharing the healing together. I hope this actually come out the way that was in my mind. Um, so if you remember just one thing, is just tell the truth. Tell the truth. There is no fear attached to truth. It could be a lot of triggers. It's still, a little bit we want to hide about what happened, and that's okay. It's part of the healing process. So that's the content for today. I want to invite you to download the workbook from yesterday and make sure you do that content, and then the handout from today, and just build on top of that. And then I will see you tomorrow to talk about the offers and relationships. That's that. Have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, night. Bye bye, everyone.